So, no wonder I got. Let's see. That's terrible. Kick dog. Get them on top of those duties. Let's get those. Oh, a few rounds. Awesome. That's terrible. Oh, I hardly hear that. Right. That's right. It's true. awesome. Math, fiction. Moderate form. Idea. Merge all these. Make it smaller. Merge every single one of these. Uh, merge all those. Merge. Moderate form. Move that to social discussion. Mix. uniform, moderate form, merge all those. Merge, 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 merge all that, confirm merge, take all that, moderate form, move that to the social discussion, move it, here we go. Okay. Anything that has to do with my shoes, I'll merge. Shoes. And the shoes. The shoes. That shoes. That shoes. That shoes. I just remember that, whatever it is. That shoes. That shoes. That shoes. That's travel shoes. I'll merge with that test. I'll merge with that since it's AI. What's all about shoes? What's that? Then, merge with that. Okay. Merge all those. Merge all those. Now, let's see what else. Moderate form. What else can I merge? Anything else? Hydraulics or air conditioning? 1, 2, 3, 4. Forgot just AI. I'll put that in there. And wiring. Yeah, put all that together. Merge all that. Merge. Merge all that. Now, new topic. No, moderate form. Merge. I'm not a rule book. This looks like. Let's see. We put that together with that. 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 The area test. Game bonuses. Baccarat. That. Robotics. Toys. Oh. Commercials. Anything has to do with online game, they'll merge. Merge forum. Anything has to do with online game. So gaming, entertainment, online gaming, online gaming, see online. Oh, merge with organic flyer threads. I guess that must be online gaming. I think holding roll log. I'm sure the lead. We'll see online gaming. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. Merge those. For merge. Origami flowers. I'll merge those. Merge out. Origami flower. Merge those. Merge. Now, modern. Where is administration? 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 And merge. Merge. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that. Pin this. Binary form. Put one. I'm gonna put his toys trade Bestman at the top. Move. Back. Go ahead. After 100 days, it seems, you can post here if there was no one else. Day. One day. One day. One day. One day. One day. Come on. Next. Check this out. Roger, roger. Now I gotta create more terminal. No, I gotta my job first. I'm done with that for now. One more song. Thread. More songs. About that, it's terrible. Song. Oh yeah. www. Ladder Day Truth. Okay. That's good. Copy. Tools. Link. Discussion. Truth. Later truth. Paste. Best on a desktop or laptop or tablet. Period. Listen to thread. Home. General discussion. With some faith. Thread. Link to choose from faith. www.recom Comes one. Paste. Oops. One. Copy. Paste. Third. HTML. All right. Test link out. Reading the website. It's just some guy. He hasn't heard any gear. This is just some guy. See, use 96. Twice that average drop. Oh. More things that we should do. Okay. I love you, Mom. I'm so glad. I thought, okay. We got 10 motors, we got Ford motors, we got Toyota. You got it when 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. When you wanna make some cars, you know you got to be free. Come together, make cars right now. Do, 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 do. We got lots of cars, lots of cars, lots of motorcycles. Motorcycles are us. Come together right now. Make cars. is God. So he stayed at home. There tonight. Oh, the Lord directed me to collaborate with Mark on a new website. https:// of Jesus, no one dot proboards dot com. Was it? Ping! Create post. Hot. It is a hot day. Copy. I want to read some of that. A lot of it. A lot. I feel my Savior's love. You're not alone. His hand. Okay. His hands that shape the world are holding me. They hold me still. Haha, we won't reset. That's interesting.
It's the Christians versus the New Agers in this video. Watch this.
So I feel like if it's not the devil, I don't know how the devil was brought into the conversation. I know he was present.
Oh yeah, he is.
Because hilarious. Because I don't work for the devil. I work for God. We get God-given gifts.
Will this conversation be doomed?
All right, good. Oh. Bing. Oh. What's it? Edit. Syntax for the gospel, the plain gospel. It's my goal. Delay brings this convoluted stuff in there. It's not a long word to. I wanted to pervert enough for the plain gospel first, so they can see the difference between that and the convoluted stuff. They can mark me something later.
Action, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, but a really sweet interaction, and it was definitely exciting to like actually have someone show up at the door and see how that went.
Yeah, and the lady that they were speaking to didn't seem standoffish or.
Let's see. Where was I? Where was I? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, also a lot of things went close on this stuff. That. I no. Not close that. This. Should have got here. That's terrible. God help him to this for some reason. That's terrible. Who's this person? Lost of faith. Aw. Well, someone fire his faith in this one. I'm trying to find out if I have any more forever's open. I do. I have one. I have the right thread open. Apply to it. I need some sleep. Or camera on. I'm gonna hug his back. No. Jesus Lord. Looks like I won a few battles. I won a Jaeger. Good. I'm a lot of it. Ooh, future first. Once over. No. Three cards. Itch! How'd that happen? Okay. Let's see what my Mr. Phone. Let's see if we can get a Josh Ritter. Good character. Let's see if we can get Brent. Armor and Knights. Let's see if we can get Shield. China. Boom, 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 boom. What's it? Shoot. Now I was wait. Yeah. Now I was let me turn on Raid Shout Legends for this. Then I go to bed. I just want to collect my whatever. Just okay.
That's what sucks about doing this. It's like, that's it. Let's do some 30-second reviews right now.
By about AD 401 to
3 days. That was 3 years ago. What might they do each day? That's it. He's still playing it.
Like, it was alright. It wasn't like great. It was okay. It was for sure okay. Definitely want that. Definitely want that. This is just fucking random. There's gonna be a bomb in here. What's the agility? Oops. Well, fuck. I guess I'm gonna say. Shit.
His current video, what he's done recently. Okay. I will watch that some other time. Don't get distracted. I want to play Raid Shadow Legends and just collect Ahsoka and other things I want to collect. Then get out of it. Go ahead and do anything right now. So, I just want to collect Ahsoka. I'm gonna get her today because I haven't logged in 7 days yet. I'm always gonna call Ahsoka. Nothing. Okay, only market. Mr. Sharp. Mr. Sharp. Cigar shield. Push the market. Or events. Do I got anything? A few things. 200,000 silver. Luster oil times 30 and gems times 20. Check the other one. This is natural progression. Nothing there. Issue. I have done some promotion. Looks like I got 85 of those. No, got 100 yet. What else do I got? Nothing else. I wanna save those. Ooh, can't wait to get him. Might as well grab them all. I don't have one. I have 85 of Cleopatrick's. So he's gonna be good. She's gonna be good. So she got a man's face though. But it's a she. Don't need. I don't want to see my eagle. Stop. Get real back. Back. That. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Progression. Do I have anything honing me that I bought earlier? No. 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 And no. Bank. Nothing. Packs. Nothing. Oh. Those. Need those. Now Like that tuna I gave yesterday. It was a good sandwich. picture. He's wide awake. Hey Rick, I found a pair of glasses. I don't know if they belong to you or not. They look like girls' glasses. They're black with a tinge of green, and the front, and they got clear sides with rainbow colors. You'll just have to show them to me, Brent. Are they dark glasses? Like people wear in the sun? I don't know. They're glasses. That don't tell me much. They got rainbow handles. You'll just have to show me sometime, Brent. I can't take over the phone. I can take a picture of them and send you a text. No, don't do that. Okay. You want to come over? You want to come over and see them? Not tonight, Brent, because I've been up all day cleaning over here with Paul and doing that stuff. Guess what I've been doing? I've been making a website for my Uncle Mark. What? A website for my Uncle Mark. It was my website. He wanted one of his own, so I helped him make one. That's fine. Are you missing a pair of glasses? Well, remember I told you the prescription glasses I left over at your house? Yeah, these will see them. They were $300 glasses. These don't see them. I got them. I don't remember any purple on them. They're not purple. They got purple on them and on the handles, but they're green. Oh, maybe that's it. But hold on to them, okay? Do they have a clear lens? Yes. Okay, then I'll be there. They haven't been set over anything, have they? They were actually inside the cat's play place. But they weren't broken or anything? No, no. Okay, yeah, just hold on to them for next time I see you. So, yeah, I left there. My insurance covered it, but they were $300 glasses. Okay. I thought those were my sunglasses. I thought. And I looked at it, I get a close look at it. Those aren't mine. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe come over tomorrow and get glasses, okay? Well, I don't know, Brent. I told you I can't start my car, didn't I? You can walk over here. We're only 2 blocks away. I don't know what's going on yet. Okay. You can go to the town. Maybe you'll go out to McDonald's or something. You know, let's just wait till tomorrow and see what tomorrow brings. Okay, so it's okay to plan, Rick. Well, the Bible says don't plan too hard. It says that we're not supposed to worry about tomorrow, but it does not say. It says that that without plans, purposes fail. That's what it says in the Bible. Well, I've got a plan to go to bed tonight. I've got a plan to wake up, so. Oh, so no, I'm going to bed too. Good night, bye. All right, bye, Will. You're right. So I read that in there too. I gotta go to bed. Good night, Maggie. I'm going to bed. I'll probably see a blank screen for a while. Just probably doing stuff. The cat will buy several times. I'll put on the cat cam for you. Love you, Maggie. Good night, Mitch. Good night tomorrow. Cat cam, cat cam, cat cam. what's up? Whoa! I never watched Wayne's World. I don't plan on ever watching it. I'm not really interested in the plot of it. The plot of Wayne's World wasn't just that. I never watched the third Bill and Ted's movies. The third one's really bad. The first two are okay. There's always one more thing to do, soldier. Always one more thing to do. Father, give me the whole armor of God, Father. Always one more thing to do, soldier. Always one more thing to do. I love the internet. It's awesome. Now, let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thanks for reminding me, God. Yes, man. Oh, oh. Okay. Again.
The lectures were originally presented by Joseph Smith to the School of the Prophet.
Okay. Stop now. Move for. Wait a second. It's not.
Years. What was Canaan's age when he died? 900.
Is it? Yes! Praise God. Thank you, Father. I'm on the right site, too. Fine. I was not looking for that. They say in research you only find what you're looking for. Not true. Sometimes you find what you're not looking for. In fact, the Gospel of Thomas says when you find what you're looking for, it's usually more than what you bargained for, and you're sure over everything. So, audio drama. Audiobook. Maybe. Nope. Nope. Faith. Wow. This is 10. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. But I like him. whatever, 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 whatever. True. Yes, God. Should be able to still. Oh, why didn't you do that? Which one?
Josiah Stoll is one of the very first.
Yeah.
A Dialogue Between Joseph Smith and the Devil by Parley P. Pratt. This dialogue was published in the New York Herald on January 1st, 1844. Parley P. Pratt wrote, "Visiting North Bridge, a short distance from Boston, and having a day's leisure, I wrote a dialogue entitled Joe Smith and the Devil, which was afterwards published in the New York Herald, and in various papers in America and Europe. It was finally published and republished in pamphlet form and had a wide circulation, few persons knowing or mistrusting who was the author. Enter Devil, with a bundle of handbills, which he is in the act of pasting up. Wanted immediately. All the liars, swindlers, thieves, robbers, incendiaries, murderers, cheats, adulterers, harlots, blackguards, gamblers, bogus makers, idlers, busybodies, pickpockets, vagabonds, filthy persons, and all other infidels and rebellious disorderly persons, for a crusade against Joe Smith and the Mormons. Be quick, I say, or our cause will be ruined and our kingdom overthrown by the damned fool of an impostor and his associates. For even now all earth and hell is in a stew. Joseph Smith happens to be passing and hails His Majesty. Good morning, Mr. Devil. How now, you seem to be much engaged. What news have you got there? And the devil says, slipping his bills into his pocket with a low bow, Oh, good morning, Mr. Smith. Hope you are well, sir. Why, I was just out on a little business in my line. Or, finally, to be candid, I was contriving a fair and honourable warfare against you and your imposition, wherein piety is outraged and religion greatly hindered in its useful course. For, to be bold, sir, and I despise anything underhanded, I must tell you to your face that you have made more trouble than all the ministers or people of my whole dominion have for ages past. Trouble? What trouble have I caused, your Majesty? I certainly have endeavored to treat you and all other persons in a friendly manner, even my worst enemies, and I always aim to fulfill the Mormon creed, and that is, to mind my own business exclusively. Why should this trouble you, Mr. Devil? Ah, your own business indeed. I know not what you may consider your business. It is so very complicated, but I know what you have done and what you are aiming to do. You have disturbed the quiet of Christendom, overthrown churches and societies. You have dared to call into question the truth and usefulness of old and established creeds, which have stood the test of ages, and have even caused tens of thousands to come out in open rebellion, not only against wholesome creeds, established forms and doctrines, well approved and orthodox, but against some of the most pious, learned, exemplary, and honourable clergy, whom both myself and all the world love, honour, and esteem. And this is not all, but you are causing many persons to think who have never thought before, and you would fain put the whole world a-thinking, and then where will true religion and piety be? Alas, they will have no place among men, for if men keep such a terrible thinking and reasoning as they begin to do, since you commenced your business as you call it, they never will continue to uphold the good old way in which they have jogged along in peace for so many ages, and thus, Mr. Smith, you will overthrow my kingdom and leave me not a foot of ground on earth, and this is the very thing you aim at. But I, sir, have the boldness to oppose you by all the lawful means which I have in my power. Really, Mr. Devil, your Majesty has of late become very pious. I think some of your Christian brethren have greatly misrepresented you. It is generally reported by them that you are opposed to religion. But it is false. There is not a more religious and pious being in all the world than myself, nor a being more liberal-minded. I am decidedly in favor of all creeds, systems, and forms of Christianity of whatever name and nature, so long as they leave out that abominable doctrine which caused me so much trouble in former times, and which, after slumbering for ages, you again have revived. I mean, the doctrine of direct communication with God by new revelation. This is hateful, it is impious, it is directly opposed to all the divisions and branches of the Christian Church. I never could bear it. And for this very cause, I helped to bring to condign punishment all the prophets and apostles of old, for while they were suffered to live with this gift of revelation, they were always exposing and slandering me, and all other good pious men, in exposing our deeds and purposes, which they called wicked, but we considered as the height of zeal and piety, and when we killed them for these crimes of dreaming, prophesying, and vision-seeing, they raised the cry of persecution, and so with you, miserable, deluded Mormons. Then your most Christian Majesty is in favor of all other religions but this one, are you? Certainly, I am fond of praying, singing, church building, bell ringing, going to meeting, preaching, and withal, I have quite a missionary zeal. I like also long faces, long prayers, long robes, and learned sermons. Nothing suits me better than to see people who have been for a whole week opposing their neighbor, grinding the face of the poor, walking in pride and folly, and serving me with all their heart. I say, nothing suits me better, Mr. Smith, than to see these people go to meeting on Sunday with a long religious face on, and to see them pay a portion of their ill-gotten gains for the support of a priest, while he and his hearers, with doleful groans and awful faces, saying, Lord, we have left undone the things we ought to have done, and done the things we ought not. And then when service is ended, see them turn to their wickedness and pursue it greedily all the week, and the next Sabbath repeat the same things. Now be candid, Mr. Smith. Do you not see that these and all others who have a form and deny the power are my good Christian children, and that their religion is a help to my cause? Certainly your reasoning is clear and obvious as to these hypocrites, but you would not be pleased with people getting converted either at camp meeting or somewhere else, and then putting their trust in that conversion and in free grace to save them. Would you not be opposed to this? Why should I have any objections to that kind of religion, Mr. Smith? I care not how much they get converted, nor how much they cry, Lord, Lord, nor how much they trust to free grace to save them, so long as they do not do the works that their God has commanded them. I am sure of them at last, for you know all men are to be judged according to their deeds. What does their good old Bible say? Does it not say, Not every one that saith, Lord, Lord, shall enter into my kingdom, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven? No, no, Mr. Smith. I am not an enemy to religion, and especially to the modern forms of Christianity. So long as they deny the power, they are to help to my cause. See how much discord, division, hatred, envy, strife, lying, contention, blindness, and even error and bloodshed have been produced as the effect of these very systems. By these means I gain millions to my dominion, while at the same time we enjoy the credit of being pious Christians. But you, Mr. Smith, you are my enemy, my open and avowed enemy. You have dared, in a sacrilegious manner, to tear the veil from all these fine systems, and to commence an open attack upon my kingdom, and this even when I had almost all Christendom, together with the clergy and gentlemen of the press in my favour. How dare you venture thus to commence a revolution, without reverse and without aid or succour, and in the midst of innumerable hosts of my subjects?
Why, sir, in the first place, I knew that I had the truth on my side, and that your systems and forms of Christianity were so manifestly corrupt, that one had only to lift the veil from your foileries on one side and to present plain and reasonable truth on the other, and the eyes of the people could at once distinguish the difference so clearly that except they chose darkness rather than light, they would leave your ranks and come over to truth. For instance, what is easier than to show from the history of the past that a religion of direct revelation was the only system ever instituted by the Lord, and the only one calculated to benefit mankind? What is easier than to show that this system saved the church from flood, famine, flames, wars, division, bondage, doubt, and darkness many times, and that it is the legitimate way and manner of God's government of his own peculiar people in all ages and dispensations?
To be candid with you, Mr. Smith, I must own that what you have now said, neither myself nor my most able ministers have been able to gainsay by any argument or fact. But then you must recollect that tradition and custom, together with fashion and popular clamour, have in all ages had more effect than plain fact and sound reason.
Hence, you see, we are yet safe so long as we continue to cry from press and pulpit and in Sunday schools that all these things are done away and no longer needed. In this way, though God may speak, they will not hear. Angels may minister, and they will not believe. Visions may reveal, and they will not be enlightened. Prophets may lift their voice, and their warnings pass unheeded. And so you see, we still have them as safe as we had the people in olden times. God can communicate no message to them which will be examined or heard with any degree of credence or candor. So, for all the good they get from God, all communications being cut off, they might as well be without a God. Thus, you see, I have full influence and control of the multitude by a means far more efficient than argument or reason, and I even teach them that it is a sin to reason, think, or investigate, as it would disturb the even tenor of their pious breathings and devout groans and responses. Smith, you must be extremely ignorant of human nature, as well as the history of the past, to presume that reason and truth would have much effect with the multitude. Why, sir, look how effectually we warded off the truth at Ephesus when Paul attempted to address them in the theater. Strange that with all these examples before you, you should venture to raise the hue and cry which has so oft been defeated, and this with no better weapons on your side than reason and truth. Indeed, you touch my Christian spirit of forbearance that you have escaped so far without a gridiron, but take care for the future. I may not always be so mild.
But why is your Majesty so highly excited against me and my plans of operation, seeing that you consider that you have the multitude perfectly safe? And why so enraged and so fearful of the consequences of my course and the effect of my weapons, while at the same time you profess to despise them as weak and powerless? Alas, it is too true that you have the multitude safe to all appearance at present, and that truth can seldom reach them. Why not then be content and leave me to pursue my calling in peace? I can hardly hope to win to the cause of truth any but the few who think, and these have ever been troublesome to your cause.
True, but then you are, in spite of all my efforts, and that of my fellows, daily thinning our ranks by adding to the number of those who think, and such a thinking is kept up that we are often exposed in some of our most prominent places, and are placed in an awkward predicament, and who knows what defeat, disgrace, and dishonor may befall the pious cause if you are suffered to continue your rebellious course.
But, Mr. Devil, why, with all these other advantages on your side, do you resort to such mean, weak, and silly fabrications as the Spaulding story? You profess to be a gentleman, a Christian, and a clergyman, and you want, for your own sake and for the sake of your cause, to keep up outward appearances of honor and fairness. And now, Mr. Devil, tell the truth for once. You know perfectly well that your Spaulding story, in which you represent me as an impostor in connection with Sidney Rigdon, and that we were engaged in palming Solomon Spaulding's romance upon the world as the Book of Mormon, is a lie, a base fabrication, and without a shadow of truth. And you know that I found the original records of the Nephites, and that I translated and published the Book of Mormon from them, without ever having heard of the existence of Spaulding, or his romance, or of Sidney Rigdon either. Now, Mr. Devil, this was a mean, disgraceful, and underhanded trick in you, and one of which you have reason to be ashamed.
Well, Mr. Smith, to be candid, I acknowledge that what you say is true, and that it was not the most honorable cause in the world. But it was you who commenced the war by publishing that terrible book, which we readily recognized as a complete expose of all our false and corrupt Christianity, not even keeping back that fact that we had continued during the Dark Ages to rob the Scriptures of their plainness, and we feel the utmost alarm and excitement, and without much reflection, in the height of passion, we called a hasty council of the clergy and editors and other rascals in Plainsville, Ohio, and thinking that almost any means was lawful in war, we invented the Spalding story and fathered it upon the poor printer, Howe of Plainsville, though Dr. Hurlburt, thanks to my aid, was its real author.
Yep.
But, Mr. Smith, mark one thing. We had not a face so hard, nor a conscience so abandoned, as to publish this Spalding story at the first as a positive fact. We only published it as a conjecture, a mere probability. And this, you know, we had a right to do, without once thinking of the amount of evil it will eventually accomplish. But, sir, it was some of my unfortunate clergymen who, more reckless, hardened, and unprincipled than myself, have ventured to add to each edition of this story, till at last, without my aid or consent, they have set it down for a positive fact that Solomon Spalding, Sidney Rigdon, and yourself have made Dr. Hurlburt, thanks to my aid, was its real author. Mr. Smith, I am glad to dismiss Mr. Smith, mark one opportunity of we had not character. I acknowledge with shame that I was guilty of a mean act in helping to hatch up and publish the Spalding story as a probability, and that I associated with rascals far beneath my dignity, either as a sovereign prince, or a religious minister, or even as an old honorable and experienced devil, and for this I beg your pardon. But really, I must deny the charge of having assisted in making the edition which has appeared in later editions of that story, in which my power, probabilities, and mean conjectures are set down for positive facts. No, Mr. Smith, I had no hand in a trick so low and mean. I despise it as the work of priests and editors alone, without my aid or suggestion, and I don't believe that even the meanest young devils in our dominion would have stooped to such an act.
Well, I must give your Majesty some credit for once at least, if what you say is true, but how can you justify your conduct in dishonoring yourself so far as to stoop to the level of the hireling clergy and their followers, in still making use of this humbug story, which you affect to despise, in order to still blind the eyes of the people in regard to the origin of the Book of Mormon?
Oh, Mr. Smith, it does take so readily among the pious of all sects that it seems a pity to spoil the fun, and I cannot resist the temptation of carrying out the joke, now it is so well rooted in their minds. And you can't think how we devils shake our sides with laughter when we get up in the gallery in some fine church, put on our long face, and assist in singing and in the devout responses. This done, the Spalding story is gravely told from the pulpit, while the pious old clergyman wears a face as long as that of Balaam's beast. All is swallowed down for solid truth by the gaping multitude, while we hang our heads behind the screen and laugh and wink at each other in silence as anything overheard would disturb their worship. And bad as I am, I never wish to disturb those popular modes of worship which decency requires us to respect. So you see, Mr. Smith, we have our fun to ourselves at your expense, but after all, we do not mean any hurt by it, although I must acknowledge, upon the whole, it serves our purpose.
Well, we will drop this subject, as I want to inquire about some of your other stories which have had an extensive circulation by means of your editors and priests. For instance, there is the story of my attempting to walk on the water and getting drowned. The numerous stories of my attempting to raise the dead as a mere trick of imposition and getting detected in it, and the stories of my attempting to appear as an angel and getting caught and exposed in the same. And besides this, you have me killed by some means every little while. Now, you old hypocrite, you know that none of these things ever happened, or any circumstance out of which to make them, and that so far from this, I deny the principle of man's working miracles, either real or pretended, as a proof of his mission, and contend that miracles, if wrought at all, were wrought for benevolent purposes, and without being designed to convince the unbeliever. Why then do you resort to such silly stories in your opposition to me, seeing that you have many other advantages? Not that I would complain of such weak opposition, as if it were calculated to hinder my progress, but rather to mention it as something well calculated to injure your own cause, by betraying your weakness, folly, and meanness.
Oh, Mr. Smith, I just put out these stories for a joke, in order to have my own fun, and without the more distant idea that any being on earth would be so silly as to give any credence to them. But judge my surprise and joy when I found priests, editors, and people so ready to catch at everything against their common enemy, as they call you, that these Joseph stories of ours actually took in their credulous craniums for grave truths, and were passed about by them and sought after, and swallowed by the multitude as greedily as a young robin swallows a worm when it is dropped into its mouth, which is stretched at full width, while its eyes are closed. So you see, Mr. Smith, that without meaning any particular harm to you, I have my fun, and am besides so unexpectedly fortunate as to reap great advantage from circumstances where I had neither expected nor calculated. So I hope you will at least bear my folly, and not set down aught in malice where no malice was intended. You know we devils are poor, miserable creatures at best, and were it not for our fun and our gambling and our religious experiences, we would have nothing to kill time.
Well, I see plainly you will have to creep out somehow or other, rather than hear the disgrace and stigma which your conduct would seem to deserve. But, forgetting the past, let me inquire what course you intend to pursue in the future, and whether this warfare between you and me will still be prosecuted? And if so, what course do you intend to pursue hereafter? You know my course. I have long since taken the field at the head of a mere handful of brave patriots who are true as the polar stars and firm as the rock of Gibraltar. They laugh at and despise your silly stories, and with nothing but a few plain simple weapons of truth and reason, aided by revelation, we boldly make war upon your whole dominion, and will never quit the field, dead or alive, till we win the battle, and deprive you of every foot of ground you possess. This is our purpose, and although your enemy, I am bold and generous enough to declare it. So you see, I am not for taking any unwary advantage, notwithstanding all your pious tricks upon me and the public.
Mr. Smith, I am too much of the gentleman not to admire your generous frankness and your boldness, and too much of a Christian not to appreciate your honesty. But, as you commenced this war, and I only acted at first on the defensive, with the pure motive of defending my kingdom, I think this ought, in some degree at least, to excuse the means I have made use of, and that you may have no reason to complain in the future, I will now fully open to you the place of my future campaign. Here,
pulling out his bundle of handbills,
here is what I was doing this morning when by chance we met, and by the reading of which you will see my course. Heretofore I have endeavored to throw contempt upon your course in hopes to smother it and keep it under as something beneath the notice of us well-informed Christians. For this cause I have generally caused it to be represented that you were a very ignorant, silly man, and that your followers were made up of the unthinking and vulgar, and not worthy of notice. But the fact is, you have made such rapid strides, and have poured forth such a torrent of intelligence, and gathered such a host of talented and thinking men around you, that I can no longer conceal these facts under a bushel of burning lies, and therefore I now change my purpose and my manner of attack. I shall endeavor to magnify you and your success from this time forward, and to make you appear as much larger than the reality you have heretofore fallen short. If my former course has excited contempt and caused you to be despised and thus kept you out of notice, my future course will be to excite jealousy, fear, and alarm, till all the world is ready to arise and crush you as though you were a legion of scapegoats commanded by Bonaparte. This, I think, will be more successful in putting you down than the ignoble course I have heretofore taken, so prepare for the worst.
I care as little for your magnifying powers as I have heretofore done for your contempt. In fact, I will endeavor to go ahead to that degree that what you will say in regard to my great influence and power, though intended by you for falsehood, shall prove to be true,
and by so doing I shall be prepared to receive those whom you may excite against me, and to give them so warm a reception that they will never discover your intended falsehood, but will find all your representations of my greatness to be a reality. So do your worst. I defy you. Well, time will determine whether the earth is to be governed by a prophet and under the sway of truth, or whether myself and my Christian friends will still prevail. But remember, Smith, remember, I beseech you, for your own good, beware what you are doing. I have the priests and editors, with a few exceptions, under my control, together with wealth, popularity, and honor. Count well the cost before you again plunge into this warfare. Goodbye, Mr. Smith. I must be away to raise my recruits and prepare for a campaign. Goodbye to your majesty. They both touch hats and turn away. But then the devil, recollecting himself and suddenly turning back. Oh, say, Mr. Smith, one word more, if you please. After all, what is the use of parting enemies? The fact is, you go in for the wheat and I for the tares. Both must be harvested. Are we not fellow laborers? I can make no use of the wheat, nor you of the tares, even if we had them. We each claim our own, I for the burning, you for the barn. Come then, give the poor old devil his due, and let's be friends. Agreed. I neither want yours nor you mine. A man free from prejudice will give the devil his due. Come, here is the right hand of fellowship, you to the tares and I to the wheat. They shake hands cordially. Well, Mr. Smith, we have talked a long while and are agreed at last. You are a noble and generous fellow, and would not bring a railing accusation against even a poor old devil, nor cheat him 1 cent. Come, it is a warm day, and I feel as though it is my treat. Let us go down to Mammy Brewer's cellar and take something to drink. Agreed, Mr. Devil. You appear very generous now. They enter the cellar together. Good morning, Mrs. Brewer. I make you acquainted with my good friend, Mr. Smith, the prophet. Why, Mr. Devil, is that you? Sit down, you're tired. But you don't say that this is Mr. Smith, your mortal enemy. I'm quite surprised. What will you have, gentlemen? For if you could drink together, I think all the world ought to be friends. As we are both temperance men and ministers, I think perhaps a glass of spruce beer apiece will be all right. What say you, Mr. Smith? As please your majesty. And the devil, holding up his glass. Come, Mr. Smith, your good health. I propose we offer a toast. Well, proceed. Here's to my good friend, Joe Smith. May all sorts of ill luck befall him, and may he never be suffered to enter my kingdom, neither in time or eternity, for it would almost make me forget that I am a devil, and make a gentleman of me, while he gently overthrows my government at the same time that he wins my friendship. Here to his satanic majesty, may he be driven from the earth and be forced to put to sea in a stone canoe with an iron paddle, and may the canoe sink, and a shark swallow the canoe and its royal freight, and an alligator swallow the shark, and may the alligator be bound in the northwest corner of hell, the door be locked, key lost, and a blind man hunting for it.
That's hilarious. Oh, wow.
If a Latter-day Saint could look at the Apostles' Creed and say, I believe that, help me understand how someone would say, well, that doesn't necessarily make you a Christian.
Is it an issue of us excluding Latter-day Saints from the lunch table? Or is it that back in the...
That was 3 months ago. I mean, that was a long time ago, but this is 3 months ago. God, please help Jeff see the light. And his wife. Okay. Let's be mad again. We're going to bed now. It is now 4:23 a.m. I fed my cat. Give her water. Wait. There's one thing left to do, soldier. One thing left to do. Almost forgot. Okay. 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 Oh, praise God. Oh, tired. Get some sleep. Then we'll get up tomorrow morning. I'll go to church around 4. I mean, not church. So I'll go to work around 4. But before I go to work, I'm going to make some diary videos. A lot of them. I got instructions from God how to do it, too. Okay. Cat cam, cat cam, cat cam. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, where are you? Tomorrow, where are you tomorrow? Hold on. Where are you tomorrow? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. You resurrect again, you resurrect tomorrow. Why not? Bless the Lord Jesus Christ. Oh God, please keep him alive. There you are. She's alive. Praise God. He's alive. that's true. Yeah, that's true.